Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about different hair structures, functions, and a case study where hair was used to solve a case. So functions of the epidermis include helping protect the skin from help protect the body from environmental conditions and help stop infection from getting into the body. And then sebaceous glands, these give off oils into hair follicles so that the skin and hair can be lubricated. And then sweat glands, obviously, these produce sweat. The papilla, these keep hair follicles healthy and nourished, as well as bring nutrients and oxygen into the skin cells that are deeper into the body, not just on the surface. And capillaries are underneath the skin, and these give off hot and cold depending on the temperature of the body. So hair has three stages in its life cycle, and the anagen stage is where the hair is quickly growing. This is called the growth stage. The catagen stage is where growing begins to slow down and change depending on where it is in the body. The telogen stage, this is when the hair has stopped growing and it's almost like a resting period where nothing really happens before it all starts back up again. And then human hair versus non-human hair, there's differences in the medulla. Animal hair is much denser around the medulla, whereas human hair is more dense around the cuticle. And human hair tends to grow individually. Each strand has its own grows at its own pace, whereas animal hair, it grows in a more synchronized motion. Like when you see dogs and their fur is pretty much the same length all the way around. And animal hair, it is thick and coarse the way it is to protect the animal from temperature, whereas human hair doesn't do a lot of protecting. So Caucasian hair is the most dense, with African American hair being the second most dense and Asian hair being the least dense. And hair follicle shapes, they do change depending on what ethnic group we're talking about. So Asian hair usually has a circular follicle shape. African Americans generally have an oval hair follicle shape, and Caucasians, they have varying hair follicle shapes. It really just depends. So there are different hair structures depending on what bodily region we're talking about. So vellus hair is also known as, the peach fuzz, and these are small, soft hairs on the face, back, and neck. They're small, short, fine, and light. You can't really see them. Terminal hair is found on a person's head, underarms, legs, arms, and pubic areas, and this hair is thick, long, and dark. And androgenic hair is a subtype of terminal hair which grows during and after puberty. So androgenic hair includes pubic and underarm hair. So in California, on October 18, 1977, Jimmy the Greek was his nickname. He owned a bar, and it was known that he had a scuffle with another man who was later known to become as Frank Wright, and this led to Jimmy the Greek being found dead inside of his bar later that night, and he was found with hair in his fist, curled up in his fist, and they weren't able to send it in at the time. So it took a long time, but recently in the last few years, the hair was sent in to be tested, the one found in Jimmy the Greek's fist, and it turned out that the hair belonged to Frank Wright. Unfortunately, Frank Wright had died in 2002 of alcohol complications, so he was never arrested or anything, but hair was used in this situation to help find out the killer of Jimmy the Greek. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in.